Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to season 14, episode 27, overall 742 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles that are known as EVs, as well as Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210. That's 519-824-0210. Tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. Good afternoon, everybody, on this Friday, July 31st, 2026. Summer is just flying by, and it's hard to believe tomorrow will be August 1st. And to close out Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, I've done about maybe 19 shows this month. We're going to close this show out with a guest today. She is from California. She is an artist. She's a comedian. And this is her first appearance on our show. And her name is Jacqui Sylvia. And we're going to bring on Jacqui Sylvia right now after this. Good afternoon, Jacqui. How are you?
Good afternoon, Chris. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, and since you're a comedian, I had to do a little laughter there before the applause.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Is this your first Canadian podcast that you've been on?
It is my first Canadian podcast, yes.
And hopefully it won't be your last. But hey, Jacqui, I want to say thank you so much for coming on here today. And how are you doing, and how's things out in the state of California right now?
I'm doing great. California is very hot right now. It's like really hard to go outside where I'm at. I'm in Southern California. But other than that, when it cools off, it's beautiful. And yeah, I'm just enjoying my afternoon with you right now. But yeah, it's been good over here.
Right now here in the Toronto area, I'm in Canada near Toronto, it's around 90 degrees, and I find that too hot. For me personally, in the summertime, 75. Between 70 and 75 is perfect. I just find the 90s or 100s are too hot.
Yes, and we're well into the hundreds. So it's like at like 7 a.m., it's super hot already. So it's annoying.
Now, I've never been to California. Is your heat really humid like it is here in Ontario?
It depends on what part of California you're in. Here, I would say it's not as humid. It's a little more dry, but it just depends on the day. It's just been really uncomfortably hot, but when it's not this hot, it's usually great over here. It's just right now, it's not fun to go outside.
What's your favorite time of the year? I find fall and winter are my favorite times. We have 4 seasons here, but for me, it's fall and winter.
I enjoy the spring. I like the flowers that come out. I feel like people are like a little more friendly around that time of year. So I definitely, I'll go with spring.
Now, are you originally from California?
Yes, born and raised here. I'm from San Bernardino specifically. I live in the Riverside County area now, and yeah, I've lived here all my life. I pretty much love it. I think the same way someone who like is a New Yorker loves New York. You know what I mean? Like I can't see myself being anywhere else. I do like to travel, but it's not something that like I mean, I feel like it's such a destination in itself to be in California. There's so much to do here that it's like I don't really have to leave far from my house to like, find fun or a good time, something to do.
What are some of your favorite places you've traveled to, and have you been to Canada yet?
I haven't, and I really want to go to Canada for sure. I've been to like New York and Mexico, like Washington, D.C. I don't, besides Mexico, I haven't really traveled outside of the continent. So, how about you, Chris? Do you travel a lot?
I was doing a lot, but now that I have my own media business, it's kind of like a full-time commitment. So when you run your own company, you don't get a lot to. But when I was traveling before, obviously Canada, I've traveled around the US. I've been to 13 states. I've been to a number of sports stadiums and that as well. But I'm hoping to do more traveling at some point as well. Wanted to ask you this too, Jacqui. I've had a number of comedians on from Canada, from the States, even from the UK. Now, I wanted to ask you this, and I'm not sure. Have you performed comedy outside of California before? Because some people tell me there's differences between East Coast humor and West Coast humor.
Oh, I definitely think that's really true. Especially, I mean, no, I haven't performed to answer your question, I have not performed out of California yet. But I will say, like, whether you're going to like Texas or New York, anywhere East Coast, even if you go upstate California, the comedy is different. Like going to Seattle, the comedy is different. Just the crowds are a little different, but usually if you have a good set, it can, and you've tried to make it pretty universal, you should be able to like do well anywhere, I would say. I mean, obviously that's what you see with comedians that do really well and are successful. So yeah, I think it's like it definitely can change, but I feel like it can change between the counties here too. Like it just depends. Like if you're more in LA, if you're in Orange County, like these areas are really, really different and have a different set of diversity. So it's like, you know, it depends on where you are. Even like I'm in the Inland Empire of California. So like the desert area, Palm Springs, like the comedians are different, the crowds are different. But like traveling around Southern California, you do get a lot of different crowds. So I feel like, if you were to come here from any other state, you would get a good read on like how many people found your material funny, just because everywhere you go in this area is it's a little different, like some areas are nicer, like LA, people are a little more friendly versus like Menifee or Hemet, like people are just a little different. So it's not a bad thing. I think it's really good for a comedian to kind of get all those different types of crowds as much as possible, especially out of state too, which I'm definitely interested in doing.
I guess the main thing is too, wherever you perform comedy, it's good to do your little homework and little research on the area before you do your comedy stuff too.
Yeah, I will hear a lot of comedians say that they like to get there early and like maybe walk around their downtown area or go to like a nearby restaurant. And you kind of do, I mean, you do that even like when you're in on stage and you're looking at the crowd, you kind of have to read the room. I always say like every like audience is almost like a different instrument of some type, and you got to figure out, if we're playing the drums or the violin, like obviously you want to stay true to yourself, but you can manipulate your material in a way to like probably do better. Like if you're a lot of my shows are like 99% female. And so when I have comedians who are more male or, are male or have more males on the show, whatever the crowd will respond to, it's interesting because like, they don't like hearing jokes about themselves that are not like funny to them, obviously. But like if you are a really funny comedian, like, and you can surprise the audience with what you're saying, it can be fine. But I do notice like with my shows being that there are a lot more females in the audience compared to your typical comedy show, that I will get comedians who don't necessarily want to come back because they feel like their material hits better in a typical comedy club versus one of my shows.
Jacqui, being out in California, do you find the comedy scene is becoming more diverse with comedians, and there's more and more female comedians out there too?
I do think so. I think that there's been like I mean, even for myself getting involved in it, like about a year and a half ago, like I do feel like a lot of people started to get more into it when crowd work became more popular. I feel like people could see the different types of comedy. Like you can be like, doing roasts where you're, roasting a comedian on the other side of you, and like it's a competition, it's more competitive. And then just like, classic stand up where you're the main monologue, you're telling your story, your stand up, and then there's like this whole crowd work thing now, and I feel like that appeals to a lot of people, and so a lot more people are interested in doing it, because sometimes you think as someone getting into comedy, well, if I'm funny in a conversation, then like maybe I'll be funny on stage. And like when you're on stage and it's like a full on conversation, a lot of times, you know, depending on the audience and the comedian, like it can be really enjoyable for them. Like I've seen that a lot. So with my show, it's very interactive, so it works well with that type of comedian. And I do think that it is still hard to find, like I do think there is more women and more diversity in comedy spaces every day, but I still think there should be more. Like it's hard for me to book a lot of females, like they're either already booked or further away, but I have like an endless amount of male comedians I can book for a show. Like I feel like I never run out of them, but it is harder for me to find a female comedian to book on one of my comedy shows. So
Jacqui, I wanted to ask you this too, and you said you've been in comedy for a year and a half now. Have you experienced or seen somebody have stage fright where they're funny in front of their friends and family and neighbors, but as soon as they go on the stage, they kind of just freeze up and kind of shrink?
yeah, it's really sad. I have seen that a couple of times. I've actually even seen a person like get up there and start off okay and then start crying, get really emotional. Um, and yeah, you do see that happens. And I feel so much empathy for someone in that situation. Like I'm a nice comedian. Like I'm not like you won't catch me roasting people. Like I like to bring more like sparkle and sweetness to the stage, but like I have seen that in you know, open mics. A lot of times you'll see something like that, and it's really sad when it happens. At the same time, if you're in a good at a good open mic, the crowd will be extremely supportive and comedians understand how it is. But it sucks because yeah, just because you're good in a conversation doesn't mean it'll transfer on stage. And I think even if you are good on stage, you still have to practice a lot and continuously try to come up with new material and try things out and get comfortable on stage. So I think that like it can't, even though that happens, you can come out of it. Like, I personally haven't experienced that, but I've bombed before, like not done well. And just, I mean, I thrive off of embarrassment. Like to me, it's like, I don't know. I've always been very like silly, so it doesn't really bother me if someone's not laughing at me. Um, it kind of becomes funny to me. I don't know. So it's easy for me to bounce back from embarrassment or from stage fright, but it definitely happens. It's hard to watch, but it's kind of fun to watch too. I don't know. I think it's like it's interesting to watch humans go up there and perform. Like I enjoy it, whether they think they're doing good or not. Like it's always a fun time for me personally. Now, some people will be like, other comedians are like, no, don't waste our time and you're wasting everyone's stage time. I'm not really like that. I feel like you have to, there's always another open mic. There's always another night. Like, I feel like you have to do bad. And if it looks like you're wasting someone else's time, you're not wasting your own, So I think it can be hard. There's a lot of comedians that could, in the community that are like cutthroat and like really like competitive, and that's great. I think that's great energy to have. At the same time, like there's still space for people who have, a different style of comedy. And so, I mean, sometimes it just takes a while to develop that, and you can't, beat yourself up if you don't do good every single time.
Jacqui, I wanted to ask you this too. You said you've been doing this for about a year and a half, 18 months
Mhm,
now. For those
mhm,
people watching our show right now on live stream or later on
mhm.
audio platforms, there's somebody out there that's looking to get in the comedy industry. What advice would you give to he or she from your experience so far?
Well, I definitely think, before you even have to leave your house, like watch as much comedy inspo as possible, Netflix specials, watch as many comedians as you can just to kind of see how everyone has their own style and see it's working for everyone. So just like researching on a perfectly like observatory level, just watching comedy. And then when you kind of figure out what you might think you want to say, and like, obviously you should write something down. I think it, or a lot of people will type it in their phones, but I've heard this from a lot of comedians that didn't believe it at first. But now that I've been doing this for as long as I have, I think it really does help to physically write down what you're going to say on a piece of paper and have your, or just like bullet points of what you're going to say, how you want to say it, and then go to your first open mic and find one local in your area. Hopefully is easy to get to, and continuously go. Hopefully it's weekly or monthly. Hopefully you can find more than one. I'm especially blessed here in California. There's open mics literally every night, anywhere I can go, radius of 20 miles and probably find one. So yeah, I think that's where you would start if you wanted to get into it. And there's also comedians that do reels. That's great too. Like finding ways to make a presence on social media. If you're still kind of not sure about going on stage, like that could be helpful too. Sometimes people are more themselves when it's just them and their cell phone, their camera. So that's what I would say.
What makes the state of California such a great state for the comedy scene, in your opinion?
I'm sorry, which is the best state?
What
Great
makes
to cut out.
what makes California such a great state for the comedy to do comedy in?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously there's just so many uh clubs, comedy clubs. Like you have the haha, the all the improvs in every city, Ontario Improv, Brea Improv, Irvine. Like literally every county has like their own improv, which a lot of times they have their own open mic as well. There's just so much to choose from. I mean, you have the Laugh Factory, you have the Comedy Store, like, and they all have opportunities for comedians to sign up and do an open mic and be seen, be heard. So I think um that's kind of why it's such a great state to me, because you could literally go all the way to Palm Springs. The Rock Gallery has an open mic. There's just so many opportunities, and a lot of people do move here, whether it's to be an actor, a comedian, a musician, because there's just like a smorgasbord every night of opportunities where you could be performing, um, and creating your own production. So I'm also a producer on top of being a comedian. I produce The Joke and Stroke, which is a comedy paint and sip, which has become pretty popular and sort of where I'm focusing all my energy right now. And I also produce Comedy Cupids, which is a speed dating event where we have comedians that are performing in between speed dating rounds or after their speed dating rounds, just depends on the venue. But you can pair with venues and put on your own comedy show and create your own opportunity here in ways I don't know that you can in other states. I mean, I'm sure you could, like Austin or Austin, Texas, or New York City. Like I'm sure that's kind of a similar thing there. I've heard like Austin's like so much better to go to. Like there's definitely other states that are on a competitive level with California. I'll just say for me personally, like there's a lot of opportunities, whether you are performing for someone else or you're creating your own opportunity to perform for an audience, and like try to monetize that in any way, which is really hard. A lot of comedy shows you'll see are free, and it's great for the audience. It's great for the comedians to, have that opportunity to perform, but it does get expensive, to travel, to have gas money, to, like It's super great, like if you have all the time in the world and you don't have like a regular job, but most people do. And so it's like, comedy and pursuing that career becomes an expense. And I found that out very early on, and I just didn't know how I was going to continue doing this without making money. Like I don't know how else to say it. So I came up with these ideas where I was taking an event that people already will go to and infusing comedy into it. So that way I could continue to perform, but make some money every time I did it. You know what I mean? So for me, it was, a passion to do comedy. I love comedy, but realistically, as an adult, I have to be able to do it without, making myself go into debt. Like I have to be able to do it successfully, even if I don't have a Netflix special, I need to figure out how I can pay for the gas it takes, my outfits, my thing, like my glittery background, my my microphone, like things like this. So I have to produce an income. And I think that's one of the hardest things being an artist, is doing that. Like I also paint, and I haven't sold a painting in like, oh my God, I don't even know, like a year and a half. Like, it takes a while for anyone to notice your art, no matter how good it is. So this was an opportunity for me to do both things that I really love doing and justify it by, look, all the money that I'm making, like look how I'm able to pay other comedians and continue to do this every day with a profit. Like, like it wasn't like that at first. It was like, I would say the first 6 months we would have, maybe only a couple of people in the audience, or I'd give away a bunch of free tickets just so I could get, content and footage of the event to promote it. And eventually getting that content, showing people what was happening, what we were doing, was able to now, like, sell shows while I'm sleeping. Like this morning, I have a show on Saturday. I only had 2 tickets sold to it. And I was like, oh gosh, am I going to have to cancel? Like what's going to happen? And then, while I was sleeping, people buy their tickets for an event usually the day before or the day of. It's rare that people will plan ahead of time, but I've noticed with Paint and Sip specifically, women audience, they plan things way ahead of time. So like I have shows in December, in November, and September that are sold out already because I made sure I put that on my Eventbrite. Thank you so much. And like, that's just been such a blessing because I don't have to worry about, oh my God, how am I going to promote this show? Promoting in itself on Instagram, I'm sure is like just a whole job,
full-time job.
Like I wish
full-time job.
I wish I was to a place where I could hire someone to help me with all of that.
I can relate.
Because it would definitely probably generate, more people paying attention to what you're doing and a bigger audience and stuff like that. But, everything takes time. And so I'm building that slowly. Hopefully someday we'll be able to just focus on the show and not the social media aspects of everything and the taxes and like all that kind of stuff. But right now it's been really fun, and just watching it grow has been like such a like satisfying thing, because I've done a lot of things, I've tried a lot of things, and reached mild to zero success. So just having this and being able to pay the event pays for itself and then some. Like just having that experience has really been rewarding for me. Like even if I never get my Netflix special or anything like that, at least they can say like I am a working artist, I'm a working comedian. Like I'm making a profit off of my art and my ability to produce this event. So I mean, it's just been amazing. I tell a lot of comedians that it's something very attainable. Like start doing your own live events, use whatever platform you can. Obviously I use Eventbrite because they do get a lot of traffic. I mean, I've had other hosts that host online, like Eventbrite type companies reach out to me and say, hey, can you put your event on our platform? And I would love to, but again, like Eventbrite does a lot of promoting for me. They do take out a fee and taxes, but it is worth it for the amount of people I'm getting. Like I have tried putting my event on other platforms without me pushing it, it doesn't really get seen. And I do tell a lot of people Eventbrite's a great way to start if you're going to start putting on your own comedy show or event. Especially if you are doing it free. I have done free shows and I don't love them because a lot of times you'll have a ton of signups, right? Like, one time it was like 55 people were coming to this show and I was, preparing for that. But because I think it was free, only like 21 of them showed up and it was easy for them to just kind of toss the events aside. So I say charge something, even if it's only $5, whatever it is, because at least you're going to get something back for all of that hard work and people are more likely to show up. Now, I host a speed dating event that I charge anywhere between, $40 and $60 per person to come to the speed dating event. And I also do matchmaking for them after the event in case they don't match with anybody. And they will ghost me. They will spend $40 to show up to this event and not walk into the door just because I don't know. I haven't been single for a very long time, so I can't speak to like what it's like to be single, but I think maybe like the same way they might ghost somebody on a dating app, like they're like, oh, it's $40-$50, it's fine, I don't want to go after all, so sometimes that happens, pretty often actually. Never with the joke and stroke. The comedy pain sip I do, I never have that issue. It's always people show up. If they don't, they would like credit to the next event. But with speed dating, for some reason, I think it does make people really nervous and maybe they just decide not to go. And I'm able to keep the money, which is nice, but it's hard for the event when we don't have enough men and there's a ton of women, or there's the opposite, right? So that's the only downside to speed dating.
If I was closer, instead of being in Canada and California, I'd come see you. I haven't dated in 14 years now.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a while. It's been a while and I'm married to my work, so I'm kind of a workaholic too. But I could see you about dating, but also I wanted to talk to you about, you mentioned the business side of it too, and being an entrepreneur. When I first started this, I didn't go to school for broadcast journalism. I did go to school for law and security, but I took my former career in security and transferred into media. And the first couple years I had to do a lot of things for free. And now that I've established myself and I'm a professional broadcaster, a lot of these businesses still want to do it for free. And I'm like, no, I said, I can't, I'm running a business. I'm a business owner too. I need to have money coming in as well. So I love doing this, but right now I'm trying to get more companies to advertise on this show because it is a business too. I love it. It's a passion of mine, like what you're doing, but there is a point where you got to say no more freebies and you got to start charging for your services. So I'm learning to be a better entrepreneur, but also learning to be a salesperson too.
Yes. And what I've noticed because like I said, I've had a bunch of failed business ideas, ventures, whatever you want to call them, where it just does feel like you're just giving away your talent for free, or you're putting in all your passion and you're not getting anything out of it. And it takes a while to figure out like, what is your angle, or how am I going to market this to a human who has money and want to purchase, how am I going to do that? And it took me a long time. I mean, I still have, online shops, Etsy shops and things like that. I'm a graphic designer. So like I design invitations. Like I'm always trying to find a way to make money. But obviously you want to do that with what you love doing, right? So if you love art, you love comedy, you love broadcasting, like you want to find a way to do that and make some money at the same time. And it's like, okay, how do we do that? Like, and you just kind of have to figure out like, what's your angle, what makes you special and sets you apart. There are no other comedy paint sips. Like I trademarked the name, like nobody's doing that. Have been other people who've tried to do it, but consistently to the level I've been doing it, no one's been doing that. I took years to come up with that idea. Like, I mean, I came up with a bunch of really bad ideas for a long time, or maybe just wasn't able to execute them well or able to market them to an audience. So, even with like Comedy Cupids, which came after the joke and stroke, it's like, it's hard to get people coming back to a show, no matter what it is, right? And you want a return customer, but at the same time, you always want a new customer. There's so many people like for us to, share the wealth with. Like there's so many people that would be interested in buying this. So you just have to find who those people are and continuously try to pick them up again. And I know with you, you're doing advertising. I'm assuming like with your, like you want to sell ads or, monetize your content. So I'm sure like it does take a while. That's a completely different ball game than what I'm doing. And I'm trying to do that too. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to do that. So I just, wish you the best. I know it's tough, but I think that like from what I've heard, a lot of people is just keep going and build your audience.
Mindset, willpower, build your numbers too. Now that I've established myself, my numbers are growing, and for businesses, they like to see numbers. So the more my numbers grow, that should help me as well. Wanted to ask you this too, Jacqui, since you're an entrepreneur and you're a businesswoman as well as a comedian and artist. Do you find creativity nowadays is shrinking? And also your thoughts on AI.
Oh, yes, that's such a huge issue right now is AI for a lot of people. You know, I don't know. I mean, is creativity shrinking? I personally don't think so. I think it's ever evolving. I think that there is different forms of creativity, and we have been on this planet for, I don't know, you tell me, Chris, billions of years, right? So I mean, we've seen it all, we've done it all. And we are seeing a lot of regurgitation of things. This is why we have sequels of movies and things like this. But I'm never running out of things that are creatively amazing to me. The artist community and the comedy community always has people that are just so amazing. So I don't think creativity is necessarily shrinking. I do think that the algorithms definitely can stop you from seeing things. That it just kind of targets things for you. So that could maybe seem why it might look like it's shrinking to some people, but I think that there are so many artists and new artists every day and new art every day. It's just, we have the internet, it's out there. You just have to intentionally go find it, intentionally go see it, not let the algorithm tell you what to do. So if you do that, you'll see that creativity is not shrinking, in my opinion. As far as AI, so AI is such a it's such a hot topic to me. If you talk about AI with artists, people will literally cancel you, be so upset if you do anything AI related, which I understand all sides of it. Personally, I try to avoid using AI with my art in any way. With making my own graphic designs, a lot of people do AI flyers and AI this, and the reason why I think it's maybe not the best to use is because a lot of people see it and won't look at it further. It doesn't look natural or unique if we're talking about graphics, Now, if we're talking about curing diseases and coming up with solutions to problems that we have, whether it's in your city or whatever, it seems like AI can be helpful in that way. It does feel like a really scary thing to me that once we get to a certain point, I've heard this idea just for the little things that it does, whether it's helping you come up with a caption for your Instagram or email for your grandma or whatever. If you stop using your brain in the way that you're normally using it to write a letter, to think, to do even a calculator, right? Once you just start leaving it up all to AI, it's almost to me when you stop walking and you lose muscle, we're gonna lose some of those skills. We're gonna lose some of our creativity skills. We're gonna lose some of our brain muscle. We just will, unless you're really intentional about how you do things and make sure that you do other brain exercises and that you use AI intentionally and for things that are really beneficial in the long run. For example, like running a small business, it's really like almost impossible to avoid when you're writing email. It will ask you, want me to write this for you? Like every single time. I don't know if you experience that, but like Google, it's in everything. So I think that AI can have some positive things. I just think we have to be very intentional about it. And there's so much we still don't know. So, I mean, I would love it if it could, like, solve all of our world problems, and really be a champion for that. However, we're seeing a lot of ugly things, right? Like people making deep fake videos and all this kind of stuff. It sucks. So there's like the bad side, the good side, and I just don't know if the good side is really going to weigh out the bad side. And personally, I try to avoid it like I try to avoid McDonald's, but I still sometimes go to McDonald's, Chris. I sometimes enjoy a Big Mac and,
same here.
Their fries. And it's terrible for me, but like, so I mean, it's like that right now, right? And I don't want to be, because like I said, there are people who have stopped talking to me completely because I am like, but what about this, whatever, so it's a scary thing to talk about, but I will say like AI's, it's something that we have to be very intentional with. And there are problems. There's definitely problems. We shouldn't be eating McDonald's every day. We should be trying to be healthier, right? Is AI actually going to make us healthier? That's what I feel like the goal should be for AI. And if it's not, then yeah, it could be a problem. Like, so I mean, how do you feel about it? I'm interested.
I like AI, but I'm not totally reliant on it. When I write my emails, it's coming from me. Now, I have to admit, when I'm doing my show and I'm editing the video, there's sometimes where I've got so much on my plate. I do use AI sometimes to edit my video into clips for me, but I still like doing the editing video part. So when I'm extremely busy and I need some assistance, I have no issues with using AI for my editing videos, but I still would like to be able to do everything on my own. But I think AI, if you use it the right way, is a good tool. Now, have you seen comedians use AI for writing their own jokes yet so far?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you see that. I mean, it's hard to know if that's what they did, right? But um sometimes you can see it, I think, in just maybe like again like the flyers for a comedy show, or I mean we see it a lot. Like again, a lot of comedians who are producing shows, they're not graphic artists. So I don't blame them, like for you, for trying to save time, right? And money that they don't have, because already trying to be an artist is expensive. So I agree that it's like a tool that can be extremely useful. As far as hearing it in people's like sets or like on stage, it would be hard to really know if they came up with that, or if, I don't know. I think if you use AI, maybe you'll know it's AI because you use it. I don't know. I don't use AI to write any of my comedy because honestly, I just can't imagine that it would be helpful from like it's coming from me, from my story, and AI doesn't know that about me. So like, I mean, unless I told it, which would just take forever for me. I don't know. I haven't really, I wouldn't know if it was someone used it, but I have seen it like used for like acting in movies and stuff like that. Like I've seen a lot of people, what looks like they maybe asked AI to write a script and maybe didn't edit enough of themselves into it, and it just kind of just falls flat, I guess. It is hard to know. Like it's hard to know. Some people really do know when that's happening. I personally am naive enough to think like, oh no, they probably came up with that themselves. I don't know, like, and it's just not a great joke. But I don't know that if AI was that successful in writing comedy, like I think people would be doing better. And I see people bomb and do terrible all the time. So if they are using it, it's not really helping because we're not seeing the audiences like laugh, right? And that's why I think crowd work is kind of like working for some people, because you can't AI crowd work. You can't, I mean, maybe you could kind of like ask it to come up with like questions or something, but otherwise it feels a lot more authentic, I guess. Yeah, I don't blame anyone for, like using it as a tool, like you're saying, to help them But I do think that like if that's all you're using, like it will definitely become a crutch, and you're not going to be able to really, be actually creative because something else is doing that for you.
You are seeing a shrinkage in the movie industry with it.
I also review movies. I'm actually going to be reviewing Spider-Man and the Olivia Wilde movie that just came out. I forget what it's called. Something sexual. I forget. But it's definitely like you're seeing it in the CGI of stuff. Like you're seeing it, I think, in the dialogue and the writing probably. Because I have had to watch a lot of like bad movies, as a movie reviewer. So like, yeah, I don't know if it's making. I mean, I'm sure on some level it is. We are seeing less independent films. There's a lot more. I mean, obviously, Marvel's always going to be putting out something, and Disney's always going to be putting out something. I wonder if they're using it, but how would we? I mean, how would we know? I wouldn't know. Like as an audience person, I just would think, oh, that was flat. But
You'll have to tell us a little bit more about being a movie reviewer. And by the way, I have not been to the movies since 2022 with the pandemic. So I'm going to end that streak probably this weekend with seeing the new Spider-Man movie, because there really hasn't been a movie that stood out for me the last 4 years where it's like, oh my God, I've got to go to the movie theater and see this. But the Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland in it. They haven't made one in a number of years, so I'm really excited to see that movie. I think it comes out tonight, doesn't it? July 31st today?
It came out actually in some theaters Thursday night, last night, and yeah, it'll be like grand opening today. I'm planning on going probably tomorrow morning, the earliest showing, or Sunday morning, one of those days in the morning. I like going in the morning when there's not that many people in there. But yeah, so I can't believe you haven't been to a movie in, you said 20 some years?
Since 2022. So it's been 4 years.
Okay.
Yes, 4 years.
Okay. Like 20 years. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Sorry. Math is not mathing. So 4 years. Is there a reason why you just didn't get a chance?
Well, to be honest, now I can watch movies from home. Like I have a network where I can just watch them live stream and that. And there's hasn't been really a movie that stood out for me the last 4 years. But the Spider-Man movie, yes. Supergirl, Superman, I heard weren't so good, so I didn't go. So, but now that you're a movie reviewer, I'm definitely going to have to check out your content as a movie reviewer as well, because sometimes people can say a movie's bad, but it's actually good. So you really shouldn't always. You should, if you really want to see a movie, go and see it. And the Spider-Man movie, I'm definitely going to go see this weekend and see how good it is.
Oh, I'm excited for you to get back into watching movies at the movie theater. And I do think a lot more people are starting to do that now that we're further and further away from COVID. I review movies for Silver Screen Previews, and it's hosted by this great guy. His name's Rob Martin. And so every week he reviews the movies. He's the, the main host, and he has rotating co-hosts, and I'm one of them. So I will usually review a movie at least once a month. Last month I did The Evil Dead, and what was it? The Gail Daughtry movie. I don't know if you saw that. It was kind of like it was like a modern take on The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. And then The Invite, which was that was interesting, is Esther Perel inspired film. But so this week I'll be reviewing Spider-Man and the Olivia Wilde movie again. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, so for Silver Screen Previews, they do a really good job. He always has you're going to get multiple opinions of the films. So it's either either himself and a co-host, or two co-hosts. So this week it'll be myself and another co-host. So you'll have 3 different opinions on the film, and we give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, explain why, and all that kind of stuff. I especially enjoy going to the movie theater to watch the movie. I mean, the thing about, I could see why you haven't gone to the movies for 4 years, because it's so easy to just stream it on Prime or Netflix, see something at home. You never really, in the comfort of your home is also a great way to watch a movie. But for me personally, I am easily distracted, and I will, get up a lot. Like when I'm in the movie theater, like I really have to decide, like, am I going to finish this whole margarita? Because then I'm gonna have to get up and use the restroom, and then I'm going to miss part of the movie. And like, so it's definitely like you're more focused. So it's a little bit better of an experience for me personally, because I do have ADHD, and I'm very like, it's hard for me to focus. So in that environment, I'm a better movie reviewer, I would say. So I'm excited for you to see, like, how that goes. Also, though, like, be prepared. Spider-Man, there's going to be a lot of people. My favorite is when there's no one else in the movie theater.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. Canada, the US, a little bit different here, but do you find the movie theaters are shrinking in the States too because of live streaming and Netflix and Amazon?
It seemed like that at first, and then just recently, I've noticed people want to get out and go somewhere more. Like, and I noticed this doing events throughout the year, right? Like, there are certain times of the year people are more likely to leave their home and do things and get out and go socialize. And movie going is similar too, where I think that people are starting to get more into it than they maybe were, because of COVID and things like that. So I mean, all the movie theaters around us, like like, especially after COVID, there were some that had closed down, and now they're opening up again, or have been running now for like a year or so. So I personally haven't experienced that, but again, in a more populated area that I'm in, it might be harder to notice. It's one of the only things, if you're not going to the beach or to the mountains, like, you're going to go to the movies. So a lot of people out here are constantly at the movies. That's why I do like to go to the earlier ones, because I feel like I know what time people are going to the movies. And usually it's, after 2, 3, and all the evening showings are usually going to be, unless it's like not a movie that's doing well, but something like Spider-Man, I mean, the first one might be sold out. Like, it's one of those things that I personally like going to the movies. I just don't like the germs, the people, like all of that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, and I have 3 kids, so when I go to take them to a movie they want to see, it's definitely a challenge, and it's not going to be the funnest for me, but like, they love it. But sticky kids, candy, ugh, it's gross. Like, I don't know, but you do it because you love them. So,
Popcorn, the soda pop, the
popcorn.
pop.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the
Smell of the
$30 popcorn, and that's the other thing. It's so expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
some of these movie theaters, like, they do offer, wine for me there now and stuff like that, but like, it's expensive. Like, we're talking 12, 15, sometimes $20 a cocktail, and I'm just like, well, that's expensive. Like, that's what kind of not makes it doesn't. It's not as fun when it's so overpriced. However, I mean, I still will indulge. It's one of the luxuries I do want to continue to have around me. So I'll do it. But I see why a lot of people maybe avoid it. It's expensive, and just for your ticket and then popcorn. Yeah, everything's gone up. It's terrible.
And they have these VIP theaters here too, where you're spending between 50 and $100 for a night out to watch a movie.
Yes.
So
yes.
So the fancier stuff is, the more expensive it is. But hey, Jacqui, if you're still good for time, I'm definitely would like to have you back on again in the future, and maybe talk more about your movie reviews as well, being a movie reviewer. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your joke and stroke and your comedy cubits. Can you just briefly explain to our audience how that works and entails with your comedy shows?
Yes. So the Joke and Stroke is a live event that you would purchase tickets to, like I said, on Eventbrite, or in person, or through me on Instagram. And it is a comedy paint and sip. So if you've ever been to a paint and sip, you get your canvas, your paints, your paintbrushes, and you sit down and you go through an instruction of painting, or you freestyle your own painting. Mine is a comedy paint and sip. So you're going to listen to comedians while you paint. And I always say we start with the stroking and then we end with the joking. So we try to get the customer to complete as much of their painting as possible before we bring on the comedians, and we'll play music and such. I hand draw all the canvases, so I don't do an instruction style paint and sip. It's very like, like painting in a color by numbers situation. So you pick out the image you want, I'll draw it for you, or it will already be pre-drawn before you get there. Like I'll draw it at home and it's there for you when you get there. Or if, I get a custom order while I'm there, I'll draw while I'm sitting there, make them a canvas that they're looking for, whether it's their favorite Spider-Man character or their dog or whatever it is that they want draw, their partner. Sometimes we were doing paint your partner. So I'll pre-draw the canvases. It just makes it easier. There's less instruction from me. And then we'll have a lineup of comedians that will perform towards the end of their painting. So it's really fun. It's like getting 2 events out of one. And it's a great opportunity for comedians to, perform in front of a 99.9% female audience. A lot of times it's date night too. So there are a few guys in there. A lot of couples enjoy that because the comedy's for him, the art's for her, or vice versa, and so they, have a great time, because even if their painting sucks or they're not great at painting, they didn't come for painting, they do get a comedy show. And I'll usually have anywhere between 3 to 7 comedians performing and entertaining them. And then they leave just, in a great mood, laughing, having fun. And, I try to make the canvas drawings funny as well. So for example, we did a Disney theme for one of my venues because they're close to Disneyland and they wanted a Disneyland theme, but I like to make them funny, the canvases. So we did like a popular meme you've seen is like Taco Bell. So it's like Belle, from Beauty and the Beast, but with like a taco dress, like Taco Bell, you know what I mean? Or just funny things. Like we'll put like little funny sayings on them, and you can always paint over them and get rid of it if they don't want it. But like, it'll be like, something that's very like silly. So the joke and stroke is, just that a comedy paint and sip. You get to paint and listen to comedy. And yeah, it happens all year long. I'm definitely looking to do shows outside of California, and I'm working with different venues, even as far as New York, who want to have a joke and stroke in 2027. So I'm trying to expand and get further out of California and have the joke and stroke happening in other locations, because I do think that it's a different event. If you want your typical paint and sip, you won't go to a joke and stroke if that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking for something a little different, the joke and stroke offers that. So it's giving you almost like 2 events in one. It's a great idea. People love it. We do private events as well. But yeah, so that's the joke and stroke. And then Comedy Cupids is a speed dating event with comedy. So usually we'll do like a mix and mingle hour and the speed rounds. And then at the very end, because like I said, with single people, sometimes they get there late. There's like always like something. And then we'll have the comedy show towards the end of the speed dating rounds. And at the same time, we'll have comedians like hosting like the speed dating round, telling people where to move and stuff like that. So it's very funny. It's a very lighthearted speed dating situation or event. Like we try to keep it very light and silly. Sometimes, dating can be very serious and very stressful. So we try to take that element out of it and, give people something else to focus on. And it's done well. We've done events where we've had, sold out events. The only issue with speed dating is getting an even amount of who's into who. So I also do like LGBTQ plus speed dating, and I do, straight people speed dating, cisgendered people. And I'll say on both sides, it's hard to get, if I only have, for example, I did an anime event, which was hugely popular with the men. Like I had way too many guys. I want to say like 35 men and 5 women.
Wow.
Because not that many women, I guess, are into anime, or I just couldn't find enough of them for, that event. So these women, these 4 or 5, these 5 women, got to go on 35 dates that night or that day. So, it was good for, like, they loved it. It just, the guys loved it too. I ended up working out fine, but that is tough when I don't have a more even amount of like this person or this type of person into this type of person. Like, it can be very challenging. And that's why I also offer the matchmaking service, that I check in and try to see who else at my events that maybe they weren't at that match with their preferences. So if I have someone out on an event tonight, for example, but they don't meet anybody, but they've told me exactly what they want, and next week I have another event and I meet someone who really meets this last person's description, I will send over the info, see if they want to meet on their own time or at another future event, and I set that up for them. So I really try to offer like as much support when it comes to the whole speed dating, because people that are coming to that, the audience there are single people that are looking to get into a relationship. And, there's all kinds of reasons why you might not have been in a relationship, or, you're sensitive about going into a new one, but, you're putting yourself out there to go to speed dating to try to see what happens, so it can be a really fun way to get back into the dating scene without doing apps, because I do think the apps make it just challenging for certain people. Like, my best friend met her husband on her app. They have a baby now. They're super happy. So they do work. I do think that you can find someone that way as well. And I'm always very supportive of anyone that wants to find, a companion in any way they'd like to do that. So I definitely don't hate on the apps. I just know that some people do get tired of them and they're looking for other ways, like more maybe natural ways. And speed dating is still unnatural, but you are coming to meet other people who are also interested in looking for other people. So it's an intentional event where you're coming in and you're literally going to tell me what you're looking for in a partner, and I'm going to do my best to see if I can find that person anywhere in my proximity. And I do have people that reach out to me from other countries, other states, like, hey, I'm thinking about moving to California, or hey, like, could you just put my name in there, be open to a long distance relationship? Like, because, there's not one way to have a relationship. A lot of people, I say this right at every speed dating, if you're interested in monogamy, polyamory, like, let the person know. You'd be surprised. Like, and we do events that are like based on a person's preferences, like the anime stuff, or like we've done, like cat lovers or pet lovers. Sometimes it's like, core parts of your life. You want to find someone that has a similar on some level, like, vision of life too. So if I'm setting you up with, if you're a cat person and you're meeting another cat person, this is great, because what happens a lot of times is you might go out and you meet someone and this person hates cats, but you love cats, like, and then it's, well, that sucks, because that's gonna make you a little disappointed and whatnot. So we try to do thematic events, and I do this with both a Joke and Stroke and Comedy Cupids. Thematic events are an event based on a theme. So we are attracting like-minded people to each event, and it's just creating more harmony for the entire experience.
Jacqui, do you think, I'm going to get your opinion, do you find social skills have shrunk nowadays in dating?
Well, it's so hard because I don't want to put any of my clients down at all. I don't want to be rude or say, there are times though, Chris, I wish that I could put one of these in their ear and like tell them exactly what to say, but that wouldn't be fair to the other person or themselves really. But I do think that because we are on our screens a lot and we interact a lot with, digital things more than humans, that some people, don't have the skills or have just forgotten how to behave on a date, or how to greet a person, how to keep eye contact and show interest. A lot of things I'll hear is like, oh, that person did not seem interested in me at all. And when I hear his side, he's like, no, I was so interested. But it's like, you have to like do a certain thing with your eyes and like look at the person and pay attention to them and smile to like, that's how you're going to show interest, and it doesn't come naturally for some people, and some people it does. Like I definitely had people that I've had to ban, like men specifically, men who've had to ban from my event because they just keep coming back for more women. You know, like they're really good actually at sitting there and pretending they're super interested and doing all this, but at the end of the day, they're actually just gonna come back to my next speed dating event and see who they can take home. You know what I mean? So some people have amazing skills and some people just need to work on them a little bit and maybe put down the phone and look up. Like when I see people speed dating and they're looking at their phone, even though I'll say at the beginning of the event, like, hey, we're gonna do eye contact. Like I'll give them like a little list of things that they should just naturally do, but it still happens where they'll take out their phone and like, but you're on a 5-minute speed date, you only have 5 minutes with this person, like don't waste it looking at your phone. You can look at your phone at any time, but stuff like that. So yeah, just politeness and regular skills sometimes, especially younger people that are trying to find a match or find a connection. I experience it more there, but as well as people my age and older, like we all kind of can be bad at really engaging with the person if we're not tuned in and intentional about it. I do think it has become somewhat of an issue, and I do think that's why people that might work out well together don't, just because of technology, of devices kind of getting in between them, if that makes sense.
And attention spans nowadays seem to be diminishing too.
I agree. Yes. And I'm guilty of it as well. I don't
Same
know if
here.
you experience that. Yeah. But like I'll literally be watching my favorite TV show and then pick up my phone. I don't even I wanted to watch the show, but I'm looking at reels too. So I have to be really intentional and tell myself no, or put it in a box or in a drawer so I don't. But it's easier said than done,
Jacqui, are you okay for a few more minutes, a couple more quick questions before we wrap this up? Okay.
Yeah.
What are 3 words to describe comedy and artist Jacqui Sylvia on stage with your audience? What's 3 words to describe yourself?
I would say sparkly, sweet, and silly.
What's one fun fact about yourself as an artist?
One fun fact about me is I draw a lot from my imagination and I create art from my imagination a lot of times, but I also am heavily influenced by pop culture. I love reality TV, as bad as it is for me. I love just the way humans behave. Like psychology is one of my favorite genres of anything, whether it's a psychological thriller or psychological, a book on psychology that could help me with my problems and mental issues and things like that. So I would say psychology is kind of like a fun fact that people don't know, is where I draw a lot of my inspiration besides my own crazy creative brain.
And how much has the comedy industry helped with mental health? Because a lot of comedians I talk to say it really is a form of therapy for them to perform comedy in front of a live audience.
Oh yeah, for me personally, that's why I got into it, was for my mental health. I had already done a lot of therapy, and I hear this a lot with comedians, it really helps you to talk about something that maybe is deeply painful in a way that you can make funny for the audience and for yourself. It's like once you get to that place of it's funny to you and you can laugh with other people about it, it's so healing, whatever your issue might have been. So yeah, I can see that a lot. I mean, I also it can also be hard, being a comedian and being around a bar all the time and drinking all the time. I personally struggle with that. So it doesn't necessarily help me, but there are a lot of comedians that are sober, and that's helpful, is to have a community of friends to draw from that really are trying to just work on being creative and not doing that drunk, which is easy to do. I love to have a glass of wine while I paint, but when you're performing in front of a large crowd, sometimes the weed or the alcohol isn't always the best way to put on a performance, and you realize that really quickly. So it just depends, on your care of yourself. But I do think it can be really helpful. It just depends on how you do it. It can also be really hurtful. Like I said, if like you already have a drinking issue and you're going to open mics every night and you're getting free drinks from the bar because you're the comedian and they give you drink tickets, like now it's not costing you to drink. And so it can be difficult. But once you navigate past that, or once you kind of acknowledge and become really self-aware, like I think it can be super helpful with your mental health.
Jacqui, what's next on your bucket list in terms of your content and your upcoming projects?
So I would really, really love to. There's so many things. I mean, I want to do a mural. Like I want to paint a mural, something funny, something comedic art of some kind. And I would love for it to be like on a comedy store of some kind, like, an improv, or get my art into a comedy store would be something I would love. Also creating more events, doing bigger stages and bigger crowds, just challenging myself. But to be honest, Chris, I'm really satisfied and happy. So like, it's one of those things, like the busier you get, the less you kind of start to love it. And I've started to notice that the busier I am with Joke and Stroke, it's like, I don't want to get too busy to where I'm like so burnt out all the time. So I'm really happy, but the goals
Balance.
I have are like, balance, like just to balance it all. And then do other things that are not necessarily related, but will also help. Like I want to do synchronized swimming for some reason. Like I've always been like into it, but never done it. So, but it's like I don't, and I feel like maybe it'll have like inspire my art or comedy in some way. Cause like I don't know. So silly things and trying new things that I've never done are on my bucket list, like synchronized swimming or painting a mural, and just, trying to continue to infuse comedy into my painting and my art.
Work-life balance, because if you don't have a work-life balance, you can end up getting burned out, and then it becomes a job instead of a passion. So I have to learn to slow down myself a little bit. Sometimes I overextend myself, and I don't want this to become like I 8 to 4 job. This is a passion of mine. You just have to be able to work-life balance it a little bit better for myself too.
Right. No, I agree.
And Jacqui, as we wrap this show up, this segment's called Ask the Host CDP. Those are my initials. A question. Do you have a question to put me on the hot seat as we wrap this up?
Okay, yes. I would love to know, Chris, who is your favorite comedian?
Yourself.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
I've had a lot of comedians on my show from different countries, and I don't know. I would say Chevy Chase, Eddie Murphy.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler.
Yes.
There's been a lot of good stand-up comedian. For female, Lillian Tomlin. Her.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, she's good too. Comedy, there's so many great ones out there. I like the ones that just you can relate to the most.
I agree. Yes. So have you seen any of those comedians live? Just wondering.
I did see a comedian live about a year ago in Toronto at Second City. Second City is in Toronto, Chicago, New York. Mary Kennedy, who's a comedian out in California. She's an actress and comedian. She came to Toronto and I got to see her perform. It's one thing to watch somebody perform on live stream, but when you see a live comedy show, there's nothing better. Just like I love doing the show virtually, but I do a lot of media work with people in person, and in person is always better than in virtually, in my opinion.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I would like to get out to see more comedians as well. I try to support all the local ones as well. And you have to start somewhere. And the only way you get better in any profession is to keep doing it. The reps, and just keep doing it and enjoying it.
Agreed. Yes.
And final question, Jacqui. When is your next Joke and Stroke comedy Cupid speed dating comedy shows? And where can our audience again follow you on social media and the best way of contacting you?
So the best way of contacting me is on Instagram at Jack of Hearts. It's JAQ_OF_hearts. And on my page, you'll be able to find the Joke and Stroke links to their Instagram pages. And our next Joke and Stroke is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, at 7 p.m. in Boyle Heights, Los Angeles, California. And then our next speed dating event will be at the end of the month at Back to the Grind in downtown Riverside, 7 p.m. It's August 28th, I believe, is my next speed dating event.
And out of curiosity, who gave you the nickname Jack of Hearts?
Oh, okay. So my name's Jacqui, and my grandma, who, was my best friend and passed away about a year and a half ago when I started doing comedy. Part of the reason why, sorry, this is a long story.
I'm so
no,
sorry.
but
I'm sorry.
Oh no, yes, thank you. But so my grandma used to call me her corazón de oro, which means my golden heart. So in my family, everyone called me corazón, which it means heart. So I put that as my Instagram handle, Jack of Hearts, because art is also in the name Heart. And so it's just symbolic for me of what my grandma used to call me. She would say it obviously in Spanish, but I have it in English. And then it also has art in the word, and I'm an artist. So it just made sense for me. I was like happy. That was like, I had a lot of ideas for Instagram handles, but that was the one that was available. Chris, I'm sure you know how this goes. So that's what we went with.
I want to say, Jacqui, thank you so much for coming on here today. Continued success as a comedian and artist, and hopefully one day you'll have your own book and podcast show as well, maybe in the future.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you so much, Chris, for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I'm happy to come back anytime. So thank you so much.
And if you ever do come to Canada or the Toronto area, please let me know, because I would love to see you perform in person as well.
Yes, I know there's a lot of comedy spots in Canada, so I'm definitely going to be out there eventually, and I will hit you up when I'm there for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again for coming on here, Jacqui. Continue success, and give me a little bit of time today, and I will send you the video, the audio, and I will edit it into reels and clips, and we will share it to you on social media. I will let you go because you get a phone call in the back.
So. I don't know. No one ever called. No one ever uses the landline.
Only when you're doing something.
Okay. Can I take a quick selfie of you and me real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2. Hold on. Let me zoom in. 3. Fabulous. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you so much, Jacqui. Continue success, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. That wraps up season 14, episode 27, overall 742 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at barrycullen.com. As we wrap up this show, guys, I'm going to play a little interview I did with Tiffany Sankey from King Realty Co. in Toronto. And we're going to play this interview right now, courtesy of my YouTube channel, Chris Pomate, Live with CDP Talk Show. This is Tiffany Sankey from King Realty Co. Chris Pomate here, live in Milton at 740 Whitlock Road Avenue, and I have a realtor. Her name is Tiffany Sankey. Tiffany, just thoughts on these new condo building by Miami Homes.
Oh, Chris, I love them. Condos are beautiful. They've been made with the buyer in mind. We have lots of square footage, really livable spaces. Some units are coming with 2 parking spots. We have beautiful terrace, and we're backing onto a beautiful greenery. So this is definitely worth the buy, and prices have been slashed. For first-time buyers, you can get it with no tax, no HST on it. So we're looking at $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 off the price. So to me, it's a good deal.
And you can also rent too if you're not going to be here long term.
Absolutely. We do offer rentals, of course. You just have to contact your realtor or me.
How would you describe yourself as a realtor?
I would describe myself as very honest, trustworthy, and reliable. I pride myself in ensuring that all of my clients have the perfect experience. And I think that real estate it's a right? You get the right to own a property, but not everybody might be there right now. So if you're renting, that's okay too. I believe in helping everybody, no matter where they are, and helping them build toward their goals.
How much have these units changed over the years with technology in these places?
Oh, you've seen the units have definitely changed. The buildings are becoming more technology advanced. We have the parcel lock boxes, the drop offs. Some buildings have lockbox areas like this. Others, it's like a box on the wall and you have to put a code in. We're understanding that security and technology are very much so intertwined, and it makes life easier for you also. You don't have to worry about people stealing your mail from in front of your unit. Um, and you can also get the security on your phone too through the app One Valley that Mattamy offers through this development. So we're definitely moving forward.
What's the first thing people look at when they go to these condo buildings? What's the first thing in the unit they're looking for?
It's definitely going to be the kitchen and the bathroom. The bathroom is a selling point for me. The kitchen is something that we use every day. It's a part of our lives. So you want to make sure that you have a kitchen that works for you. Mattamy has offered a lot of upgrades in these units that we're selling here. We have beautiful islands, nice finishes, and beautiful coloring as well. So we have some luxury here.
What are your thoughts on Mattamy Homes?
I love Mattamy. I love Mattamy. It's a reputable builder. They make it very easy to purchase. The buying process is very easy and straightforward. They deliver a beautiful inspection. The inspections are passing with flying colors, and they're very reliable. You know that when you're buying with Mattamy, you're getting a good deal.
And regardless if you're renting or owning, it's the advantages of getting a realtor are better than doing it on your own.
Absolutely. Realtors, just like any other profession, we have to go through extensive training and education. We're trained to understand what our clients' rights are, whether you're the landlord, the seller, the tenant, the buyer. We also want somebody who does this for a living because they know what to look out for and what you should be aware of. Also, you want to take the peace of mind from it too, right? Real estate transactions can be very stressful on the client. So your realtor's job is to really ease that stress off of you and guide you through the process.
Do you find the economy right now is shrinking with the cost of living and gas going up again?
I did notice that gas is going up again. My goodness. Yeah, the cost of living is really high right now. That's why the government, I believe, has decided to allow first-time buyers to get their properties HST free when you do the new builds and the pre-construction. I don't think the economy is shrinking though, because we have developments coming up all over the place. The Laurels is building right over there, which is another Mattamy development at the Crane.
Wow.
Yep, they're almost done.
And as for Milton has really grown over the years. Milton's now, 175,000 people approximately with the development?
Yeah, we've definitely seen a quadruple in size in terms of the amount of people in Milton. Milton's becoming a hot spot because a lot of people don't want to have to deal with the traffic of downtown. And we have the GO train giving us access from all parts of Ontario. So you can get from Milton to downtown Toronto in 45 minutes with the GO train. So we're seeing a big boom, and we have schools, churches, places of worships, lots of shopping. Milton's a good place to go if you're looking for a good investment or it's starting your family.
Do you find Toronto's population is shrinking because of that?
Still, no, I don't. Toronto seems like they have a never-ending inventory of space. They just keep building things, building townhouses, building condo buildings, building detached homes, and everyone's still moving to Toronto. Toronto's a hot spot.
And finally, what's a fun fact about yourself as a realtor?
Fun fact about me is I speak 3 languages. I speak English, Spanish, and French. And I'm trying to integrate that into my real estate career. So if you know anybody who needs a realtor en français or en espagnol, I'm your girl.
Is that common in nowadays, realtors being bilingual, and that's important too?
Yeah, I'm finding that with the economy growing and the rise in immigration, we're seeing more and more people that speak multiple languages in this industry. And it's good because it gives access to people and diversity.
And do you find more and more immigrants are able to afford these places?
Definitely, because immigrants are going to be considered first-time buyers. They don't have a mortgage in Canada. Oh, my client's calling me. Shoot.
We'll wrap this up in a minute anyways. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. And finally, just where can everybody find you on social media and your website?
Well, you can find me on social media. My name is Sold with Tiff, Tiff. You can also hit me up on Facebook, Tiffany Sankey, or email me directly, and I'm on TikTok.
Well, thank you so much, Tiffany, for doing this interview. And thank you for showing these condo apartments to me as well today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're very welcome, Chris. Always a pleasure.
And that is Tiffany Sankey from King Realtor Co. of the GTA. So thank you so much, Tiffany Sankey. And she is on all social media as well. And please, guys, check out my YouTube channel, Chris Pame Live with CDP Talk Show. I have 4,700 videos of content on there. I am getting close to 1,000 subscribers and to 1 million views. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed, liked, and shared my YouTube channel. And if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, go to Chris Pame Live with CDP Talk Show. Subscribe, like, and share. And I have a lot of YouTube shorts content there as well. So for those people that don't have a lot of time, I do have a lot of short videos on there that are 30 seconds or less as well. So, and as we wrap up the show, guys, I want to say thank you to Jacqui Sylvia, a stand-up comedian and artist from California, San Benito, California. And as we wrap up this show, guys, again, at Barry Collins Chevrolet right now, you can get a $25 Esso and Mobile gift card with the purchase of an oil change and eligible vehicle health check. Offer valid from June 1st, 2026 to August 31st, 2026. So you got 1 month now. Book your appointment today at Barry Collins Chevrolet dealership. And again, Barry Collins Chevrolet dealership is the official advertiser and sponsor of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. And you can get more information at barrycollin.com or drop by the dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall and tell them Chris Pame sent you. As we wrap up the show, guys, if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the New Hope Animal Rescue. They're located at 4999 Jones Baseline Road in Guelph, Ontario. Their telephone number is 519-836 9780, or you can visit their website, New Hope Animal Rescue Guelph.ca. They do have 3 cats down at Pet Value at the Paisley Road location. Pet Value Paisley Road location at 1005 Paisley Road. They have Peanut and Raj and Wyatt. Wyatt and Raj are a bonded pair, so they would have to go together. And Peanut, I believe, is on hold right now. But New Hope Rescue Group, if you're looking to foster or adopt a cat, please, your best bet is to contact New Hope Rescue Group at 519-836-9780. For more information about their services and what they do for cats, check out New Hope Animal Rescue Guelph.ca as well. And as we wrap up the show, guys, if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge and District Humane Society. They're located at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or you can visit their website, CambridgeHumaneSociety.org. All the animals and pets that are up for adoption, their profiles and information are on CambridgeHumaneSociety.org. Michelle and her staff do a wonderful job looking after homeless, furry animals and getting them adopted into good homes and stuff. And at the Cambridge District Humane Society, you can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it. So please check out the Cambridge District Humane Society. And they are having Zayers right across the street on Dunbar Road is having a charity barbecue for the Cambridge Humane Society on Wednesday, August 5th. 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 p.m. There'll be hot dogs, there'll be pop, and if you can bring some dog food, cat food, some paper towels, garbage bags, toys for the pets, that would be great as well. So please check out Zayers on Dunbar Road in Cambridge, right across from the Cambridge District Humane Society, Wednesday, August 5th, for their barbecue from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you have some loose spare change, please feel free to drop some in as well for their hot dogs and drinks. And yours truly will be there as well. And as we wrap up the show, guys, if you would like a personalized video message from yours truly, go to cameo.com/Chris Pame. I do happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations, happy divorce, whatever within reason. So if you'd like a personalized video message from me, go to cameo.com, type in Chris Pame. And also, if you like my media work, you like my 3 talk shows, you like my media content on my YouTube channel, I am on paypal.com. Go to paypal.com @Chris Pame if you'd like to support my work through PayPal, or through a Cameo as well. And if you're a business and a company and you're looking to advertise on my platform that has over 27,000 listeners on Spotify, over 809,000 views on YouTube, 136 countries around the world listening to this show, please check out Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show, CDP Media Productions. You can email me at cpame19@gmail.com. My prices are very fair and my prices are very competitive and reasonable, and I look forward to working along with you in your company and business. And I'm on 21 different platforms. So live streaming is the new form of radio. And if you're looking to advertise your business company, please consider CDP Media Productions, and you can reach me at cpame19@gmail.com or contact me on my social media pages as well. And what a better way to advertise your business on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, which is growing every year on YouTube and also on Spotify, and I'm on all platforms as well. And that is about it for today's show. Again, as we wrap this up, my next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by our friends at barrycullen.com, will be on Saturday, August 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern with special guest Carlene Lee. She is an author, a wellness speaker, and an advocate for resilience and personal growth. So tomorrow, Saturday, August 1st at 11 a.m. with Carlene Lee. And look for me next week at Argos Practice. The Toronto Argonauts will be in Guelph until August 4th. And then they will be going back to Toronto to play at BMO Field and to practice at Lamport Stadium. So after 3 months, the Argos will be heading back to their city. So I'm going to hopefully get a couple more interviews in and look for them on my social media platforms as well. I hope everybody has a great rest of the Saturday. Or actually, it's only Friday. I apologize. I hope everybody has a great rest of your Friday and your weekend ahead. And for those people here in Ontario, enjoy your long weekend with Monday, August 3rd being a civic holiday here in Ontario and in Canada as well. And that is about it. Again, a thank you to Sylvia for coming on, and thank you to the audience for watching the show on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, X, Instagram, and on all major audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. So have a great rest of your evening, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'll see you back here tomorrow, Saturday, August 1st at 11 a.m. with Carlene Lee, an author and a wellness speaker as well. Thank you so much for watching Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph and hosted by yours truly, Chris Pame. Have a great day, everybody.